Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will be briefing about Fin5203 Excel based analysis task. In this task, 5 different questions and sub-questions under each question are provided to us, for which we will be using Excel to perform analysis and provide solutions to the questions. So here, one best thing is that already solutions are prepared and shared it to you in an Excel sheet that is provided. Okay, what we should do is, like, our main task is that we make enough changes to the Excel sheet so that it represents our own style and our own style of writing is shown in the document. Uniqueness should be maintained for the Excel sheet that is given to you. For this, like usually, like when we give this kind of task earlier, most of the people were making mistakes by not making enough changes to the Excel sheet. Okay, so what we are doing now is we are sharing different Excel sheet to each person, and we are asking them to perform enough changes so that the Excel sheet looks different when compared to other people's work. So uniqueness has to be maintained and document should be in your own style. To do that, I am providing you 4 important steps that has to be followed so that your document definitely looks unique. First task is we need to add some extra information, like in your Excel sheet, straight to the point details will be presented and answers are calculated. So here, by understanding the question, we should add some extra detail for each question. For each sub question, we are supposed to add information from the question that is given. Maybe we can add purpose of that question. Okay, so what is the purpose of using performing calculations in that question? And we can add input details, like whatever the inputs that are given in the question, like we do in early school days. So we write all the inputs that are given and then we start calculating, right? So in that way we can add, like, some details are properly not given. By understanding the question, you should add or update the text. Okay, so that has to be. So when we add extra information to the each question or each solution, it definitely makes it different. Okay, everybody will write in their own style, so it will be different for each person. Next, we make enough changes to the text contents in the solution. Here already some extra content is given here. Okay, so here what we do, like, this is the solution that is provided to you, right? So here we make change to this kind of content. Okay, and this is interpretation. We make changes to these things. Okay, this is the input that is given. These are the calculations that we have made. So here, whatever the values that are text values that are present here, we are supposed to change. Okay, so please make sure that you cross check each of these detail properly and make enough changes to that one. So the textual content that is already existing in the data has to be changed. Got my point? So you will be changing text inside the solution, means whatever the headings given for the each task and whatever the interpretation that are made, that has to be changed. Next, we can move around solutions. So for example, if B is here, this is the solution. I want to bring this solution to here. Okay, it's present now. So I want to relocate the solution complete data to different location within the Excel sheet. That we should do. And finally, we will be making changes to the graph. So for example, if this is a graph, we will change the format of the graph. In that way, we make enough changes. So like that, if we make these changes, your document is completely unique. Got it? So please make sure that you make enough changes to the content that is present in the Excel sheet. Got it? And I don't want you to make changes to these values. Okay, these are exact values. So when you are changing, you are supposed to use cut and paste, like that. So let me start simplify this one. I will explain you in next 5 minutes. You will understand how we can write it. So let us cross check the first point. What is the first point? We will be writing add information from question to the Excel sheet. So let me go to the question 1A section. So question 1 speaks about consider the two mutually exclusive projects, project A and project B, described in the table. This is the table. Each part of question requires written answer. Okay, right. So for these projects, we will be assuming that at 9% minimum attractive rate of return, which is accepted and why it should be accepted. So for this one, we will be calculating internal rate of return and internal rate of return and present worth. Based on those two values, we will be evaluating net present value. This is net present value, NPV. Net present value, we calculate IRR and net PV, and we decide which project is better one. Okay, so mostly we depend on the net present value. When the net, like for which project net present value is high, that we will be selecting. Okay, anyhow, what we should do as first step, we will be adding information from the Excel sheet. So here, from reading this question, we understand that there are two projects that are given, and based on the values, we will be selecting which product can be accepted. So I write it here, like, so I will make sure that this A solution is taken above, so that I can have enough space here. So what I do, based on the analysis, we can decide which project is best. So this is my way of styling. You can write your own understanding from the question. So then it is like MARR is given, minimum attractive rate of return. I like while preparing the solution, we wrote like given rate, so we can make it change it to MARR. Otherwise, we can make it we can write it as the minimum attractive rate of return is. Otherwise, according to the given document, minimum attractive rate is, like, you should write it as your own style. In your own style, you have to write it. Okay, so make sure you write in the same format, and don't change the location of this value, because this is already included in the formulas. So as they are included in the formulas, if you make, like, for example, if you write this one MARR here above, and if this value 9% is given here like this, and if you remove it one, if delete this value, it affects total calculations. So you can see these two values are changed. So I recommend you not to change the where the values are there. Whatever you want to present, you take extra sentences and extra columns. You can write it here, you can write it here, you can write it wherever you want to write, you can write, but make sure that these values are not changed. Okay, so this is how MARR, I added some extra information here from the question, and I updated input details. Then first part of the task is done. Okay, first step is done. What is the first step? Added extra information from the Excel sheet. Next, what it is, we are supposed to make changes to the text contents in the solution. Now we got two values. When you check the value, like if you take this one, this is straight away written one, so it is taken from the textbook, like from the given question. But these values, if you see, these are calculated values. We are not supposed to make any changes to these values. We just need to change these things. Okay, so here A means project A, so I'm changing it to project A. Otherwise, you can write in your own style, case A, case B, or like A values, B values, like that. You can make enough changes. You can make changes to your own style. When you're working on this one, how you can write it, that you can follow. So I wrote project A, project B. So IRR means internal rate of return. NPV means net present value. Okay, so here formulas are also explaining the same. So you can write it in your own style. So I'm just making it internal rate of return, and this is net present value. Okay, so I calculated both the things using the approach, and these are the values. Now when we compare these two values, as we are speaking about net present value, based on the net present value, B value is more, so we can select B. So you write in better way, like elaborate this thing, and you can write, when we compare internal rate of return and net present value, comma, based on the net present value, we can see that project B is having better value, so project B is selected because of that. So simply you can write like the same content you can write in your own style. Got it? So next question I am going like this. In this one there is no table kind of thing. If you want to update this one, this you can update project A, project B. You can format table like this. Okay, so this is project A and this is project B values. So the color is different, color changed. Okay, now if I want to make changes to everything, I will be applying the table to this one. Okay, so this I will change to content Now the table is updated. After that, what we can do, we can move this solution to some other new place. Okay, this I updated. I will update this too. Based on NPV value, decision is made and B is selected. Why? It is because so you can make interpretations. See, when you have internal rate of return, how to interpret internal rate of return, you can cross check on internet and you can find it. How to interpret net present value, you can find it related details from the internet and you can decide which project is good one. So in this way I updated this one. Next, the third step is move solutions. Okay, so while moving the solution, you are supposed to make sure that, so whatever the number of columns here, 1 2 3 4 5 columns, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 rows should be available here. How many rows are there? 1 2 3 4. So you just cross check, make sure that it will not impact any other side value, so it should not disturb any data. Just maybe like I will copy it and paste it here. No, it is disturbing. C solution is going out. So what I do, I will make it here C solution and I will remove this one. And I'm just cutting it. I'm not copying it, I'm just cutting it. Control X and I'm bringing it here, Control V. So the values that are here are brought back to here. Like this you should move the solution from one place to other place. Okay, now so it's a simple, it's already done. I have moved content from here to here. Next question, I'm already formatted the table also. So this is the table and I formatted it, and these values automatically changes. This is formula text, you can call it formula text, and this is formula text. For B solution, we apply all the 4 changes. What is assuming 16% MARR, should either of the 2 projects be accepted? Why? Now we will be calculating MARR 6. So same thing, maybe based on the, so I will move first B to B above, and based on the calculation, what we do, we decide which one is best. Okay, and now assumption is assumption on MAR, minimum attractive rate of return. MARR it is. Okay, so this is MARR. It is 16%. We have took that, and similarly we add the same thing. This is internal rate of return. This is internal rate of return. You can give your own style. Now based on these values, what we understand, it's a negative present value. When we have negative present value, net present value, we don't select any project. Okay, so we cannot select. When we have negative NPV values, we are not supposed to select the project. So simple, we don't select either of the project, and the reason, when we have net present value is negative, we are not supposed to select any project. So that's how we write a B solution. And if you want to move this solution, I will be cutting this one, Control X, and I will move it here maybe. Okay, so move it here. So now I have B solution here and B solution here, and this is formula text. I have updated it. So like this, A and B are received here. Now I have C solution. For C solution, it's a clear, nice description is given here. So you write your extract, like maybe you just insert couple of rows here by clicking insert couple of rows. You can move your, like, see, it's not required that you are supposed to copy it here. If you want to move this solution below the A solution, how many rows it require? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 rows, 9 rows you need. So here we have 1 2 3 4 rows. We add extra rows to that. Okay, you can select couple of rows, and you by clicking insert it, all of it increases the number of rows. Okay, so now 1 3 6 9 rows, 10 rows. I will add one more row to make it more perfect. I can cut this one, Control X, and I can copy paste it below A like this. Now here the data is exactly moved to here. Like remember one thing, every time you will be cutting and pasting it. Okay, when you cut and paste, it automatically brings all the data below there. Okay, if I want to move this to some other place, here I want to move it, Control X and Control V, and I can delete these extra rows like this. Okay, I hope you understood. So that is what about placement of data. I am moving placement from one place to another place. Okay, so please be aware of that one. Next, I am making changes to the third question. So what is the third question? I have enough data over here. You just add few extra rows here to write up your data detail. So let us give brief introduction to the topic, what we are going to do there. Then this is the table that we will be using. Okay, so we can change it to project A NPV, project B NPV, and the given rate. So this value is a random value. This one we can change it, we can modify it. So anyhow, don't worry about it. You just make changes to, you add some extra content here. Now crossover calculations are given here. For this also you make enough changes. Crossover means, so like where the project A value crosses project B value, just cross check. After that value, the performance of both the projects will change. Maybe like till crossover rate, one project A, if project A is selected, after crossover project B will be selected. Okay, at crossover, both the projects will be providing equal value. Okay, so this you need to understand, and you are supposed to comment on this one. Okay, this makes your document contain enough values. Okay, so after doing all these 4 activities, I guess your question 1 is unique. When you open the old document, you just save on your name, or like better you save it on your name. Then you just cross check how different your paper is compared to whatever the solution that is given. It will be completely different. Okay, so you are also supposed to make changes to this table too. You just need to give this one as a given input table, or input table is given as according to the data input table is. In that way you should make enough changes. See, for question 3, question 4, question 5, for all these questions the same process applies. In question 2a, so what it is like, we will be analyzing the stock values. So here these details should be changed according to our own style. Maybe like you can move it. First step is changing data from the question, like what is the question that is given. So you give brief introduction to the question that is given. Okay, you can write it here, question 2a. Then you take values. So some of the values are given here, 2.5, 2.5, 5.5 something. Those values you just include, like you can add few rows here, and you can add introduction to your question here. Then add some input values that you found, like whatever the data that you found here. Next, these text data should be modified, maybe according to the values, depth, short term, depth, long term, total depth. These things you can update in your own style. This is a textual content, and you can update it using your own style. Then you can move them. You can move these values. Maybe equity, I will cut and I will write it here. So when you cut and paste it, it will not impact this is that final value. Okay, final solution, it is not reflecting. But if you copy and paste it, it will reflect. So what I want you to do, you just cut and paste it. So like this you can cut and paste, but still this value will be same. In that way you can move it. You can move these values around so that it looks unique, and make sure that these text data is changed to your own style. Okay, here nothing to be done. We just keep this to be solution as it is, and at the bottom you just update this graph. Okay, next, regarding question 3, you need to follow the question 1 kind of steps. First, brief about the question, what you are going to do, brief about that. Then you change input values. You just make sure that input values are properly allocated. Here, this is here like when based on this Excel sheet, you see that these values are given horizontally. You can make them vertical like this. Okay, so in this way you can make changes. Just cross check what kind of values it is, whether they are input values or not. Add some description to the task, then add input details. Now make changes to the Excel sheets and format tables, format graphs, and write interpretation. This is interpretation here. Okay, write interpretation properly. And this is fourth question. Fourth question also looks same. Fifth question also looks same. In the fifth question, it is about sensitivity. Please try to read the question and understand it and make enough changes. Okay, make sure you format table, text, and graphs and everything changed accordingly. So whatever the interpretation is there, that should be written by yourself, and there is a simple interpretation is given. You need to elaborate it in a better way. Okay, so you take enough time and make enough changes to the document. Once scroll the document down, scroll the document up. That is very important. Here, if you check this one, this is a big one. I can cut this one and I can move it to below. Okay, so like this you can cut and paste your solution at different place, so that it is easy to readable and it is easy to provide enough changes to the document. Okay, so make sure you properly work on this Excel sheet. You make enough changes. Okay, I want you people to make enough changes to the given document. Okay, so don't forget to give introduction to the question and proper elaborated explanation to the reflection on given task. Okay, so that's it from my side, team. Make sure you properly write it and compare your given input, like whatever the document that you have made, with the document that is sent to you. Okay, so you should feel comfortable with the make changes that are made by you in the given document. Okay, when you are confident, it will be definitely a unique document that is prepared by you. All right, thank you, team. Please make enough changes. See you, all the best.